Bubble bath. Damn, you good. What is that, the black of the berry, the sweet of the juice?
Yeah, they were.
That juice sweet?
Yeah.
What tastes like? What do you?
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm the mama, and I think it's gonna be a boy.
What's going on? It's your boy Sosa. I'm the daddy. I'm Teen Girl, you feel me? Teen Girl, it's a girl, I already know it, man. You feel me? Brandon, I'm a cousin. Kid's gonna be a girl.
Hey, Friday. I'm a friend of Jazz from work, and I think it's gonna be a boy.
The room is filled with laughter, music, and celebration. Friends and family gathered around a pregnant woman glowing with excitement as guesses fly through the air, boy or girl, blue or pink. Joy layered over every second as cameras capture what looks like the beginning of a beautiful future. Jasmine Lynn Cooper stands at the center of it all, smiling, hopeful, 38 weeks pregnant, and just days away from meeting her child, believing this moment will forever be remembered as one of happiness. But beneath the cheers and playful predictions, something unseen is already shifting. A quiet tension hiding behind the smiles, a truth no one in that room can recognize yet, because this celebration is not the start of a new life. It is the final calm before everything collapses. And in the early hours of July 9th, 2023, that joy will be replaced by fear when a desperate 911 call comes in. A man claiming he has just returned from the store to find his pregnant fiancée unresponsive on the floor. His voice shaking, his story urgent. But as investigators arrive and begin to examine the scene, it becomes clear that what happened inside that apartment is far more disturbing than the call suggests. Because Jasmine was not simply found, she was taken. Her life ended just days before childbirth, and the truth behind her death is buried beneath lies, manipulation, and a moment that everyone believed was harmless. This is not just a story about a murder, it is about how warning signs are often disguised as happiness, how danger can hide inside love, and how a single moment meant to celebrate life can quietly mark the beginning of a nightmare no one was prepared for. Before she ever became a headline, before her name was spoken in news reports and police briefings, Jasmine Cooper was simply a daughter, a mother, and a woman trying to build a better life. Born and raised in Greenville, North Carolina, she grew up under the close care of her mother, Sharon Cooper, a bond so strong that those who knew them often described them as inseparable. Jasmine was known for her warmth, her easy smile, and a personality that drew people in effortlessly. She had the kind of presence that made others feel seen, the kind of heart that showed up for friends and family even when life weighed heavily on her own shoulders. And that strength was tested early when Jasmine became a mother at a young age, navigating pregnancy and motherhood largely on her own, embracing responsibility instead of running from it, pouring her love into her child and refusing to let hardship define her future. She worked, she dreamed, and she carried herself with quiet determination, believing that her past struggles were only stepping stones toward something greater. And then, when she met Keyshawn Williams, it seemed as though life was finally rewarding her resilience. He appeared attentive, charming, and deeply invested in her happiness, the kind of man who showed affection publicly, who spoke the language of commitment, who fit perfectly into the image of the family Jasmine had long hoped to build. Together, they shared moments online that painted a picture of stability and love, a relationship that looked safe, secure, and full of promise. And to those watching from the outside, Jasmine appeared to have finally found her happily ever after. But what no one could see yet was how vulnerability often hides behind strength, how even the most resilient hearts can overlook danger when love feels like hope, and how the woman behind the headline was standing far closer to the edge than anyone realized. From the outside, everything still looked perfect, carefully curated moments filling social media feeds with smiles, affectionate captions, and promises of forever, an engagement announced with excitement, plans made, boxes packed, and a new home shared as Jasmine and Keyshawn moved in together, presenting themselves as a couple stepping confidently into a future built on love and stability. And when Jasmine discovered she was pregnant again, the news felt like a blessing. A second chance at the family she had always wanted, a baby already named Kiani, spoken with pride and hope, a name that symbolized new beginnings. But behind closed doors, the reality was beginning to fracture, because the same attention that once felt romantic slowly tightened into control. Questions turned into accusations. Affection gave way to suspicion, and Keyshawn's jealousy began to surface in ways that could no longer be ignored. He wanted to know where Jasmine was, who she spoke to, what she wore, and why. His need for reassurance evolving into possessiveness, his temper flaring without warning. And as the pregnancy progressed, so did the tension, culminating in a moment meant to celebrate life: the gender. Reveal, where smiles were forced and excitement dimmed, the instant the result did not match the future Keyshawn had imagined. A disappointment that lingered long after the party ended, changing the energy in the home, changing the way he looked at Jasmine, and from that point forward, the cycle intensified. Apologies followed outbursts. Affection followed fear, promises followed pain, a pattern designed to confuse, to trap, to make leaving feel impossible. Jasmine tried to pull away, sensing the danger, but each attempt was met with manipulation, tears, and vows to change, isolating her further from those who might have helped, until the violence escalated beyond arguments and control into something far more frightening, something that left Jasmine afraid for her life, leading her to take the most serious steps she could, filing for a restraining order, telling authorities about the abuse, the threats, the words that no one ever expects to hear from someone they love, threats that made it clear this was no longer about jealousy or anger, but about power and possession. And though the warning signs were now documented, spoken aloud, and written into official records, the danger did not disappear, because the most dangerous moment for someone trapped in an abusive relationship is not when they stay, but when they try to leave. And by the time the fear became undeniable, the path toward tragedy had already been set in motion, long before the night that would end everything. July 9th, 2023 begins quietly, like any other morning, the kind of day that gives no warning of what it is about to become. Inside the apartment, the air is heavy with unresolved tension. Words are exchanged, then raised, then sharpened. An argument unfolding over the unborn child, over the baby's gender, over doubts that had been festering for weeks. Accusations that cut deeper than silence, questions of paternity that strike at the core of trust. And as emotions spiral out of control, the argument crosses a point of no return. What starts as anger becomes something darker, something violent, and within the walls of that home, the illusion of love finally collapses, the confrontation turning brutal as Jasmine is attacked by the very person she trusted most, her safety ripped away in moments as the violence escalates beyond restraint, beyond reason, until the apartment falls silent. And when it is over, Jasmine lies gravely injured, her unborn child still inside her, their lives slipping away in the aftermath of rage. But the night does not end there, because instead of seeking help, instead of telling the truth, a decision is made to deceive, to rewrite what happened, to stage a story that might explain the unexplainable. And in the early hours, a 911 call is placed, a voice claiming panic, claiming innocence, claiming he returned from grocery shopping to find his pregnant fiancée unresponsive. A story meant to buy time, meant to hide what had really taken place. But the truth cannot stay buried for long, because despite the call, despite the performance, Jasmine and her unborn daughter are rushed to the hospital where doctors fight desperately to save them, and despite every effort, despite every measure taken, both lives are lost. A mother just days away from giving birth, and a baby who never had the chance to take her first breath, gone because of a moment fueled by control, jealousy, and unchecked violence. And as the sun rises on July 9th, 2023, the celebration from weeks before is replaced by a crime scene, a family is shattered, and the story that began with joy now reaches its devastating climax, leaving behind only questions, grief, and a truth that no lie can erase.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I'm the mama, and I think it's gonna be a boy.
What's going on? It's your boy Sosa. I'm the daddy. I'm telling girl, you feel me? Telling girl, it's a girl, I already know it, man. You feel me? Brandon, I'm a cousin. It's gonna be a girl.
Friday, I'm a friend of Jazz from work, and I think it's gonna be a boy.
My name is Destiny. I'm a friend of Jazz, and I think it's gonna be a girl. Cause mama asked me. And I'm real good friends with the mom. I think it's a boy. I'm Jasmine's best friend, and I think it's a girl.
Okay, sister and Jasmine's sister, and I think it's production.
Come on, I
Oh man,
yes, I died.
I'm Jasmine. Nah, and I think it's a girl.
Okay.
My name's Tip. Jazz, my little roadie. I don't got to say nothing. My eyes tell it all, baby.
Okay, we know what you got. We know.
Okay, I know Jasmine because I used to do her hair from the time she was 2 years old. Not for a very long time, and if it's not twins, it's a boy.
Okay. Patty, what you think it is?
Oh,
And how you know it?
let me see. It's a girl.
Maya, come here. Okay, what you think it is? Say what? How you related to me, baby? Okay. Okay. You ready to can? What you think it? Oh. Okay. You ready to can? What you think it is? A girl, or boy? Boy. I thought you just said you wanted a girl, Cam.
No, he said he wanted both. We always
Oh,
know
you
that
did?
one both.
Oh. Okay, that's everybody.
I'm Navaya, the cousin. I think it's a girl.
Okay. So now I'm just gonna. Go ahead, Mama.
Mother.
And I'm the one that know what a baby is.
Okay, perfect. And what do you want, though?
What I want, a girl.
Okay.
That's what I did for my baby for Valentine's Day.
Let's go! That's more like it.
That's what I did for her, y'all. So I'm about to go get her. I'm about to go get her and tell her to come to the room. She don't know what's going on. She thinking. Baby. I know. I didn't like how the red ones look. See all your balloons. You didn't even look in the bathroom.
Tap water. How come? Well, because.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Baby, how you know you got the orange flowers?
I didn't know that. I didn't know they made them kind. I love you. I love you too. I was looking for.
This is one for.
You want to start first? Can the camera see you? Go ahead, you go over here and get it done. You go ahead and do lead you.
Some of this cute bag, some more stickers.
After the apartment falls quiet and the flashing lights fade, the truth begins to surface piece by piece as investigators move through the scene, documenting bloodstains, collecting weapons, tracing every mark left behind, evidence telling a story that words never could, a metal pipe, a knife, patterns of violence that contradict the version given in a trembling 911 call. And as detectives widen their search, surveillance footage begins to unravel the lies, cameras capturing movements that do not align with the story of an innocent discovery, timestamps that expose gaps, actions that raise questions no explanation can fix, and with each contradiction, the narrative shifts from tragedy to homicide, leading police to the place where the suspect has gone into hiding. A tense standoff unfolding as officers surround the home, commands shouted, time stretching thin, until the man who once portrayed himself as a loving partner finally emerges, surrendering not just to law enforcement, but to the truth he can no longer escape. And when the autopsy results are released, they confirm what the evidence already suggested: blunt force trauma, strangulation, injuries so severe that survival was never possible, and with them, the confirmation that the unborn child's life ended as a direct result of the violence inflicted on her mother, 2 lives lost in a single act of rage, leaving a family shattered beyond repair. Jasmine's mother forced to confront the unimaginable, mourning not only her daughter, but the grandchild she never got to hold. Grief rippling outward as friends, neighbors, and an entire community struggle to reconcile the smiling images they once saw online.
We first begin tracking crime. A Greenville man has been charged for the murder of his pregnant girlfriend and unborn child. Police say on July 9th, 27-year-old Jasmine Cooper was found unresponsive and at the hospital. Medical examiners determined Cooper's death was a homicide. Today, police arrested Cooper's boyfriend, 29-year-old Keyshawn Williams, as a suspect. Williams is charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of murder for the unborn child.
A man wanted in the murder of his pregnant girlfriend was involved in a standoff with police Saturday morning. Take a listen. This is viewer video as police with guns drawn were moving in on Keyshawn Williams at a home in the 1100 block of Eagle Chase Lane. Police made repeated calls for him to come out of his house with his hands up. He eventually came out of a back door of the house and laid down onto the ground. The 29-year-old is now charged with the murder of his girlfriend, 27-year-old Jasmine Cooper, as well as her unborn child. He is in the Pitt County Jail under no bond. Officers tell WITN it's believed that the child was Williams. Officers went to an apartment on West Arlington Boulevard back on July 9th for a report of an unresponsive woman. Cooper, who police said was 38 weeks pregnant, was taken to ECU Health Medical Center where she and her unborn baby girl died. Police said an autopsy Friday revealed the woman died due to blunt force trauma to the head and strangulation.
With the brutality now laid bare, outrage growing as people question how warning signs were missed, how documented abuse failed to stop what everyone now sees as inevitable, and as the case moves through the legal system, charges are filed, court dates loom, and arguments are made about intent and accountability. But no ruling can restore what was taken. No sentence can erase the fear Jasmine lived with or the future her child was denied. And in the aftermath,
in many domestic violence cases, police are often aware of the problem due to prior instances of being called for sin. But in the case, police say there were no early warning signs before they were called to the apartment of Jasmine Cooper and Keyshawn Williams. 27-year-old Jasmine Cooper was 38 weeks pregnant when she was by blunt force trauma to the head and strangulation.
We received a call for just check welfare in the early morning hours of the 9th. Officers responded to the victim's address and found her there to be unresponsive.
According to social media posts, Cooper had planned to name her unborn daughter Kiani, who tragically passed away with her.
She was immediately transported by our EMS personnel in hopes that we would be able to do emergency procedures to save the child's life. I do not know from the injuries and have no reason to believe that there were any injuries that caused the child to die individually and most likely succumb to the mother's injuries.
Uncomfortable truths remain about how abuse hides behind appearances, how victims are often not believed until it is too late, and how systems designed to protect can fail when intervention matters most, because this story is not just about one crime. It is about patterns repeated again and again, about silence mistaken for peace, and about the cost of ignoring control disguised as love. And as you reflect on what you've heard, the question becomes unavoidable. How many warning signs are overlooked every day? How many lives are balanced on the edge of disbelief? And what can be done before another celebration turns into a memorial? Share your thoughts in the comments, speak on the signs you recognize, and help keep these conversations alive. And if stories like this matter to you, stay with us, subscribe, and continue shining light where silence has done the most damage.